Oheneba Media for Efremui. I boy say media royals. Media Muadeshiano. Asiabana. Aintasamana. Amamlani amani mudumedie. Oheneba Media betinete. Intiama for Muntie. Muntie Nanyado.
Right, Abusiama Munina Kwaba about Oheneba Media. So did say baby will be no Jana Domohoya Yensu. Tradian Padaroma. Yehoya Pa. Nabusia the chief of staff of the Republic of Ghana. Nei abepiem ewoye Ashanti mantem Kumasi ene Ashanti mantem na hinkrum abepiem na ne nyina se NDC amanyuko no emranimfo a ewo mu ene omo ye ehyiamu bi ewo Lancaster Hotel no Kumasi ha no enti chief of staff de no nyama ebete atwi na wa be my speech ewase wi a eno achi na wade nani akohwe enuma hodo a aban no eye wa Ashanti mantem ba bi a esifa eduru Obeba pro kakra woni Asante mantem soafo no na afo bi edi akotene e wo NDC amko bi say the attorney general a wote so CCA Dr. Akrutinga Ayine ebio emanimfo e wo NDC amanyoko bi say yira attorney liter ene emanimfo dodo na aka ni na ba be kan odi NDC amanyoko mu mpedifo ebe hia ebio mayor da Asante mantem no ano King Zuba Yira Richard Ofuri odi no so ebedi ensawo so eno ene abo anan abepie mu sabe de Yira no aba bedru Kumasi Prempeh the first international airport obi free ho a no de ne etre mu ewo Lancaster Hotel enti edi ne convoy na chi na baby obeko bia no ye de ho amanebo e de abremu na emom oba so abobo ni so be like amayen share na obi ensanka bia fi so ja comment e wase so yan subscribe ya na wa subscribe na bibia aye kama
The president are gone.
We have all celebrated the victory, our electoral fortunes. Whilst we are doing this, it
speaks directly to the central role of law and lawyers in shaping a society that is just, accountable, and prepared for the future. Our opponents, who are skilled as speed, spun a story that PNDC and NDC lacks an intellectual base. In fact, during the PNDC era, there was a widespread perception, often repeated, that there are no lawyers in the revolution of PNDC, and that the PNDC lacked lawyers. A careful analysis of our history will show that this could not have been the truth. Let me mention a few of our legal minds and the vital roles they play in our nation building. Dr. Obed Asamoah, he was the PhD Secretary for Foreign Affairs, key architect of Ghana's foreign relations and legal transition to democracy. Justice D.F. Anna, PNDC Council member, provided judicial legitimacy and later became Speaker of Parliament. Dr. Prempeh was the PhD Secretary for Finance. He led the Economic Recovery Program and Structural Adjustment Program reforms. Professor Pamina Ahod was the PhD Secretary for Local Government. He drafted the decentralization policies and district assembly laws. Nana Abtudazi was the PhD Secretary of State and later became Chief of Staff. And he is a key governance and transition strategist. Lawyer Chaptu Chikata. He was an advisor and later PNDC, GMPC CEO, intellectual and legal strategies on governance, energy and oil law, amongst others. Martin Amidou, a great legal mind who served as Attorney General and Deputy Secretary for Justice at a point in time. The fearless dedication and sacrifice of these lawyers laid a strong foundation for our current NDC legal team. It is therefore an honor to join you at this important gathering of legal minds who are committed to the NDC and its social democratic principles, further affirming that the story spanned by our opponents that the NDC has no lawyers is far from the truth. The theme for this year's conference, Government Reset Agenda, the role of NDC lawyers, is timely and vital. It reminds us that our country stands at a crossroad. Citizens yearn for renewal, for institutions that work, for governance that inspires confidence, and for leadership that restores trust. When we speak of a reset, we do not merely speak of a change in government. We speak of a deliberate recalibration of governance to improve the lives of our people, to realign state institutions with a constitutional purpose, and to restore faith in democracy. This is not a work of slogans or speeches alone. It is a work of deep thought, of credible policy, and of principled leadership. And in all this, the role of the NDC lawyer is indispensable. In fact, without you, we may not have arrived at this stage as a party. Lawyers bring with them a unique mindset. You are trained to analyze facts with clarity, interpret the law with fidelity, and test every action against the standards of justice and fairness. That discipline is needed now more than ever. The reset agenda demands that we rebuild our state on the foundations of integrity, constitutionalism, and competence. Lawyers must serve as both the conscience and the architects of this process. We must help design systems that shun arbitrariness and open the way to transparency, accountability, and fairness. Our great party, the NDC, has consistently recognized the importance of lawyers in this journey. It is not by accident that successive governments of the NDC have relied heavily on lawyers when it comes to appointments into public service. The reason is apparent. Our leaders understand that governments stand or fall on the quality of the people who lead them. Appointments are not merely about filling positions. They aim to instill a culture of legality, discipline, and a sense of duty in high offices. The government relies on you, the NDC lawyers, because your judgment is trusted. Indeed, we cannot gather here without acknowledging that this government has appointed some of you into various roles of trust and responsibilities. Ministers and deputy ministers, chief executives and deputy chief executives, and members of cabinet boards. This appointment reflects the confidence reposed in you by both the party and the president. Yet I am mindful that not all of you have received such appointments. Those comrades, I say this, do not lose hope. Do not renege on your activities in the party and in this group. Your contributions here are vital. Your commitment is noted, and the future is bright. The call to service comes in many forms, and when your time comes, the party and the nation will look to you to lead. And believe you me, even when postmasters are on strike, you will make sure they deliver your appointment letter before they continue the strike. This conference should remind us that our responsibilities extend beyond advocacy in courtrooms. They extend to shaping the architecture of governance and the future of our party. Whether in private practice, academia, civil society, or public service, we are bound by a standard duty to use our skills for the good of the people. We must participate in the drafting of policies, be vigilant in drafting or reviewing contracts, and be committed to the fight against corruption, while also being bold in providing solutions to the present social and economic challenges of our time. The party and the nation expect from you more than technical expertise. They expect leadership grounded in the rule of law. Let us also remember that the work of a lawyer is never neutral when it comes to pursuit of justice. In times of difficulty, lawyers must stand with the people. We must ensure that laws passed by Parliament respect the rights and dignity of citizens. We must be watchdogs and ensure that the processes of government are not captured for private gain. As social democrats, we must ensure that when our courts are approached by the vulnerable, they are not denied justice by reason of being poor, delay, or intimidation. This is the higher calling of your profession, and it is the role of NDC lawyers to ensure that this calling shapes the agenda the government presents. The party's vision cannot be translated into durable institutions or laws without the support of its lawyers. In that regard, this valuable network of NDC lawyers is not only an intellectual resource for the party, but also the engine room of policy formulation, its governance, and its renewal. Our party relies on you to scrutinize bills before they are passed, to anticipate the legal implications of reforms, and to craft solutions for our economic research agenda. In this regard, I urge every lawyer present to see yourself not merely as a participant in party activities, but as a custodian of the national duty. Take this as a solemn charge. The research agenda will be checked not only by policies announced, but by the legal and institutional framework that sustain those policies. It is our responsibility to ensure that those frameworks are sound, constitutional, and future-proof. As we deliberate at this conference, let us recommit ourselves to service. Let us dedicate our knowledge to strengthening the party and through it strengthening the republic. Let us build a government that is accountable to its citizens, respectful of its laws, and committed to fairness in all things. Let us remember that when the people look to the NDC for leadership, they are ultimately seeking guidance from the party's lawyers on how to build a lawful, just, and equitable society. The recent agenda, in essence, is a call to service. And service is the highest expression of leadership. As Chief of Staff, I assure you that your contributions are valued at every act of the government, and we do appreciate it. The President and the leadership rely on you. The government listens to you, and the party depends on you. Together, let us rise to this responsibility for the sake of our democracy, for the progress of our nation, and for the dignity of our people. Thank you.
The head of this wonderful association here, my brother, the Chief of Staff. People don't know that that's my direct classmate. We're both in Ashmata together. In fact, we happened to be, he was the SRC president and I was his vice. And we have a specific need in not only the two of us now. So I will mention it. I want to acknowledge Minister in charge of the sector, working where you're delivering the speech, and I want to thank him for the wonderful speech. And going through all the protocol, our former Attorney General, Marita, thank you so much for the wonderful work done by every one of you. I stand here first on behalf of the party to thank every single one of you and for the great job done into the December 7 elections. If I'm happy that we are in Kumasi, because in this particular region, it's one of the places where your work was absolutely invaluable. Part of the reason why we were able to do what we did in strongholds of the enemy was again because you were virtually in all critical police stations, you were there. And help across the country as well. So I cannot thank you enough for standing up when you wanted in order to help us achieve what we achieved on December 7, 2024. We thank you immensely. I also want to use the opportunity to commend all of us for having supported Excellency the President over the last, let's say, 8 months in office to start the process of resetting this beautiful nation of ours. I just have a few comments I want to make. One of the first things I want to say is that the good book says righteousness and justice are the foundation of Israel. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of Israel. And if it is that we want to achieve a reset, it definitely must be on the foundation of doing what is right and making sure that we bring ultimate justice to our society. We are a nation whose motto is freedom and justice. So effectively, our country aligns with that important belief that righteousness and justice must be the foundation for what we do. We also have a party that principally, essentially was founded on social justice. Today I hear a lot about what the party essentially was for. Our friends who, after the loss of power 2000, effectively schooled us towards what you call social democracy, which really came after the loss in 2000, because that truly was not always what we were. Because we were far more a group that simply wanted to be pragmatic, to be in the center, to ensure that we pursue just what is just for our people. And the logical thing that happened, in truth, were part of the battles within the heart of the party. Because the party that had what you call the cronies that always wanted us to go the socialist way. Then we say that was the party that wanted to go us to the right. Then of course the revolutionaries that just wanted the pragmatic center where things happen. The point I'm making is that this party essentially is founded on social justice. And that must always remain who we are. One of the critical reasons why we won is also because the people of Ghana wanted justice restored. They saw 8 years of absolute subversion of everything that was right. Everything that was right was subverted. It wanted, first and foremost, people punished for wrongdoing that they done. In order for us to set a tone that this nation can only move forward when things are done right, when justice becomes the order of the day. So clear. Oral, as many of you have got to know, becomes one of the critical pillars on which our success is going to be established. So, as I came in, I heard Attorney General speak about the fact that there is a lot of determination and pressure for oral to be accomplished right away, for people to be punished immediately. And we can appreciate part of that pressure. And the pressure itself is not wrong, because that is one of the principal reasons why a lot of people who take it to the wanted to, we should be said it that you cannot take the nation for granted. You cannot rule a country and do what you want with the resources of the country and decide to just miscough it. Therefore, there must be consequences. Totally agree. But if there's a group that needs to also appreciate that things must be done well, that what is worth doing is worth doing well, it should be us. Why? Because we were founded also through the same order. The order back in 1979. And what was the order at the time? It was called Let the Blood Flow. That's really what it was. The same. It's that same passionate voice for blood to flow. Now the blood flow doesn't mean killing, of taking people by the French sword, making sure people were punished. And when there was a cry for the blood to flow in 1979, and many of you, some of you were a little old to know. Many of you maybe were young, or you were not even born at the time. One thing that remains today. In fact, part of the reason why our party has had difficulty in many parts of the country, including here in Ashanti region, was because the leader of that uprising tried very hard to ensure that things were done patiently. And there was so much universal cry for blood that there was a moment where literally we let go. And by letting go, not everything was done right. And humans that we are, majority of those who cry for that blood to flow, after the tempest come down, pretended to never ask for blood to flow. Many of them became the hard enemies of this party and continue to blame this party today for some of those excesses. I'm grateful that on December 7th, we were able to win such a massive victory at the presidential and actually did what Kwame Nkrumah never conceived or never dreamt was possible, what Rawlings actually never believed was possible. Winning a minimum to 10 empire. No. And that became a reality. And means we accomplished that despite having to go through decades of being blamed for what? Killing people who were innocent, punishing people who were not to be punished. We carried it. What I'm trying to say is this. If we are talking about recent, it simply means this time around, when the opportunity comes, let's make sure we do it and do it well. No more simply going for blood for the sake of blood, but going for blood when truly blood needs to flow. It can no more be what happened in 1979. It cannot be. If it's to be done, it must be done well. If to be done well means it has to be thoroughly done. Proper due diligence. The job must be properly done. And you are the Ghanaians, so you should know. If it's the righteousness and justice should be the foundation, it must be. So you cannot in one breath be making proclamations that are condemning those who are on the other side, while you yourself are part of the system that wants to subvert the same laws, the same constitution, the same rights things for me. So usually the first point of making sure is at that properly. That's the only way we can establish a society that will be truly great and strong. My first point. My second point is this. And Attorney General, I'm sure the pressure is mounting. We at the level of the party are making the signals. And signals we are making is that many among us, in spite of the fact that please and the pressure coming from the public that the things have to be done properly, punishment must be exacted, and things have to be done. Some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be good. Some among us are trying to cut deals. Some are becoming convicts through whom pressure is being brought to bear on people who are supposed to do what is right. I'm not mentioning names. The time may come where we may have to. A word to the wise. Some know the source. Those who are. We are hearing your needs. Think again. Because this victory was achieved largely because the people of Ghana wanted the right things done. Not for deals to be cut. For them to say, okay, now that we are salary cut deals so that tomorrow you also can get a deal cut. No, it won't happen. It's important. Because if there's anything that has gone wrong in this country, it is found that somehow people who are placed in positions of responsibility sometimes think that we can play games around ordinary people. So, I mean, yeah, what is right, we can drill around it. We can go around it. No. The people who want what is right, and what is right needs to be done. So, Attorney General, please continue to be strong, continue to be firm, you and your team. If you succumb, the problem will be you. The same people who will come, oh, you know, you have to do this, we are all brothers, we're in the same school, we are friends, we're in the same community, all of us are Ghanaians. Those same people, like what happened to Rollins, he became a lonely man, blamed for things that he even didn't know anything about. Many of you, for example, know the story of how sadly, and again, one of the reasons why we were hated as NDC, hated especially in Ashanti, was, for example, the fact that the FIFA was added to the people who were executed. They had no business being added. Why? Because somebody who had his own personal agenda took advantage of that moment of difficulty and literally deceived a young flight lieutenant who needed his advice as a senior person in the military. Needed his advice. They said, no, add this person, because this person is actually at the very foundation of all the wrong things going on in society. Only later on to get to know that no, all that advice was for his own personal agenda. At the level of wickedness, selfishness. That has been the very foundation of the rottenness of our society. So, Attorney General, please remain firm. What is right just has to be done. It has to be done in due time. It has to be done properly. So making a plea to all of our people who are crying for blood that it must be done properly. So we can't simply rush it just because we're in a hurry. But we also have to make sure we do it by not allowing anybody to subvert the process. So I just want to make these two major pleas today. And I just urge all of us to continue to rally behind the flag. I know the issues of expectation related to employment, and I'm happy both the Chief of Staff and the Attorney General have given assurances. There's always a need for patience. Sometimes patience is becoming a very scarce commodity. I can tell you, for example, what we won in 2009. Many of you do not know. My good brother, who is the Chief of Staff today, the very initial period in 2009, Chief of Staff did not have a position immediately. He did not. I remember he and I, good corporate, we met, came to my office many times in 2009. I was then Deputy Finance Minister. And at that time, we were like, Chief, what do we do? And he called it Chief, I call it by another name, which I will mention now. What are we making now? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I'm just saying this so you can appreciate. Then eventually, I don't think after 2012, did you move straight into government? You remain at the tourism. And eventually move into government, starting from the Eastern region, and gradually move into the state sector, to the Chief of Staff. That's how life works. Some go ahead, others may start late, and your time comes when the time is due. So it's not, like they say, the race is not always for the straight. Somehow, the politics we practice today, everybody believes the race is for the straight. I must get it immediately. No. Everybody has his time. So please do what is right. What is worth doing is worth doing. And the right moment, your time will come. So I want to thank you.
Oheneba Ejeni Makunie, the CEO of Oheneba Media. Many are Ghana for more Europe, UK, Canada, and America. And me was Prempeh de Mao. So person will send this car, Emma Obusunya for, and Wadofo Ghana, and na tap send the ana make come for amount. Now the Emma Niji Omokra and say, Omu rate was through. No charges. Afi wasa bo sika ho ban ma wo. Say your mobile money accounts, and our bank account, and I will send this kana kotumu a sima Prempeh na wansa kan Ghana. De ohia ne say, obefa o mobile phone, no akọ Play Store and App Store, no download tap send app no egu phone so. Kayo say wo send dia, obebusa wo promo code, eno ane say wo do Oheneba keke no ahye ho. Wo Europe a obema wo €5, wo UK obema wo £5. Oh, America and Canada so ubenya $10 Oheneba keke nti. Na mo am wo UK no kra de me wa sem debi de mamo. Ubetimi create wallet account e wo tap send wo so. Ebre bia rate ne be kosoro no. O dia de se ube save ska wo ho na ebre pem no se wo gan no be bia wo bia no na wo the wallet account no ato de opese de to bia. Tap send papa no.
Oheneba Media for Efremu. Ayebo me say Media Royals. Media mu adehia no asiebo ana enta semana amamla ni amane mu dwumadie Oheneba Media betenete enti amanfo mu ntie ye na nyado.